Good morning, children. Good morning, students. Let us see the portion which we learned yesterday under the title of religion. What are the portion I have taught you yesterday or have read to you? See first. There were two national anthems. Now it is surprising. We see or we know that one country, one national anthem, like Jana Gana Mana in India or in any other country. But here they sang two types of national anthem. It is said that the whites were singing this national anthem. On the contrary, the black were singing Dar State. One for the white skin and second for the black skin people. The writer said, on the day of inauguration of African people, Nelson Mandela was happy with the sense of victory. And then we see Nelson Mandela's life before and after. I have written one word here, before and after. Nelson Mandela's life. Before Nelson Mandela's life, there was an Anglo-Boer War. And when he was born, he saw that there was a very wrong kind of system, which is racial system. A system of racial domination against the dark-skinned people. The darks were not given total, complete freedom. They were deprived of all the facilities which were being enjoyed by the white-skinned people. This was the system before and after Nelson Mandela's life. And boys, that day of freedom of African people had come at the cost of many lives. Many great leaders of Africa had laid down for the freedom of their country. They put a brave fight, they fought bravely, they should be honored, they should be paid reward, but despite of putting a brave fight, despite putting the brave fight, they were not paid reward. And the writer Nelson Mandela said that he was very sorry, he was very sad, he was very nervous because he could not even say thank to them because they were no more. This first portion we have seen yesterday on. Okay, boys. And now there will be a question like this: why were there two songs describe the life of Nelson Mandela before and after his life, and why he feels sorry? Why did he feel sorry? Maybe the question on this chapter. Okay, give the answer of all these questions. First, you may ask like this question. Describe Mandela's life before, Mandela's life second, where two different national anthem sung. Third question. Why did Mandela feel sorry? If you answer this question, there will be a complete revision of the previous period. Now boys, let us go forward and we have to put an end to this second part of Nelson Mandela's speech. If you pay attention, then you will understand the speech given by him. I will try my level best to explain it to you. See here, let us go forward. Page number 20, second paragraph. Here, that day had come about through the unimagining sacrifices of thousands of people. People, those suffering and courage can never be counted and repaid. I felt that, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of those African patriots who had gone before me, died before him. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. I was pained. I was very sorrowful that I could not able to thank them and they were not able to see. They were not able to see what their hard work, sacrifices had brought. Now let me explain this to you. The freedom they got at the cost of many lives. They did not get freedom free at cost. For that, many sons of soil had to pay their life, had to lay their life down. And those people who had put a brave fight even did not get prize. They were not repaid. They were not counted. They were not paid thanks. And he felt that there was a great line of great leader which come to Nelson Mandela, and Nelson Mandela carried the line of those sons of soil forward and put a very, very brave fight to gain, to achieve freedom for the black skinned people. Now he was sorry. He felt sorry because he could not pay thanks to them. He wanted to pay thanks to them because they had shown them the way how to fight for national freedom. And at the end, he said that these people who had put a brave fight against the white people did not know what their sacrifice had brought in. Okay, now again, let me read this paragraph very fast to you and try to understand. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifice of thousands of people. People whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days, that I was simply the sum of those African patriots who had gone before me. That with me I was pained and I was not able to thank them, and they were not able to see what their sacrifice had brought. Here, just a minute. difficult part of revision also. I have done it only purposefully because I have to connect the earlier thought to this new one. The policy of apartheid means there is a difference, or there was a difference between the white and like people were known by their skin. That way is called apartheid. It is in Marathi. It is called Varnabhed. The policy of apartheid created a deep and everlasting wound in my country and my people. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, covering from that profound hurt. But the decay of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, that was that it produced the Oliver Tambo, the Walter Cicero, the chief Thulis, the Yusuf Danius, the Brain Fisher, the Robert Shukoi of our time, men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. Perhaps it required such a depth of operation to create such height of character. My country is rich in the mineral and gems that lie beneath its soil. But I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamond. Now boys, let me read this passage to you again and then I will explain it to you. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. Means the policy of racial government had affected all the black skinned people. They were hurt. All of us will spend many years, if not generation, recovering from that profound hurt. They will not get rid of that wound given to them by the white skinned people. They will never forget. If they forget it, it will take lot of time to forget whatever the treatment they have received from the white skinned people. But the decay of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, and that was that it produced the great galaxy of great leaders. The name were given was Seer. Adversity is always good. Oppression, injustice is always good. See here. The people of Africa, especially the black skinned people, had gone through the ordeal, suffering, problems, operations, and they become hard and harder and harder. Their adversity, their difficult problem had given birth to a great son of the soil. And there is a galaxy of leaders. See here. First, Oliver Tambo, then secondly, Shishiru, then Luthili, then Ishu Dandu, Brian Fisher, Robert Sobo-K. These people were born. These people had come out of the difficulties, out of the problem. Or you might say, the problem, adversities, the difficulties, the injustice, the oppression is their mother. And for a great leader, for a great son of soil, problem, adversities, difficulties, impediments, bad periods, bad patch in life is very necessary. Otherwise, be generated. In order to be generated, leader like this, adversity is their mother. Only adversity, only problems, only impediments, only bad condition can give birth to such a great soil. Then he said that his country Africa, you know that he is famous for diamond. It is very rich as far as mineral life is concerned. But he said that people are greater. The people are greater than all the mines and diamond. True people, wise people, people of good wisdom are greater than the diamond itself. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Second point we have seen. First point we have seen. What is the first point? Problems, hardship, difficulties, are mother of brave sons who lay their lives. And now, definition of courage. Here in this paragraph, he defines courage. Let me read this paragraph to you. It is from these comrades in the struggle I learned the meaning of courage. See here, he learned the meaning of courage from the fighting of these earlier great leaders. Time and again, means very often, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea, for idealism, for idea, for the principle. They put their life down. They die for the principle. They die for the way of life they want to live. I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attack and torture without breaking, showing strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear. According to Nelson Mandela, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph, the victory over fear. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but who conquers that fear. Very fine definition. He learned, means Nelson Mandela learns from the example of his great leader. Let me read this again to you. Time again, I have seen men and women risk and give their life for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attack the torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defied the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but triumph over fear. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. No one is born. His philosophy about courage. And now, hating another person because of the color of the skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate. See his philosophy about hatred. People must learn to hate. And if he can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest, most sorrowful time in prison, when my comrade, friend, and I were pushed into our limit, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guard. Perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me that and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Hatred is very essential. According to Nelson Mandela, he said that people must learn how to hate. If the man learns how to hate, he will definitely learn how to love. Because the quality of love is better than the quality of hatred, and this quality of love enters human beings' heart very quickly and fast. So, the fire of love or the quality of love can never be demolished. It is always there in the heart of human being. Let me read this paragraph to you again, and then we will summarize this lesson. We will put an end to the second part of the speech. See here. No one is born hating another person because of the color. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or background or religion. When the man is child, he never hates anybody else in the name of race, in the name of caste, in the name of religion, in the name of color, in the name of all these useless things. He is born to love and to be loved. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, or they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than the hatred. Even in the grimmest, sorrowful times in prison, when my example is given, he proved his philosophy of loving instead of hating each other. Even in the grimmest time in prison, when my comrade and I were pushed to our limit, I could see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame. Man's kindness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. And now boys, see, philosophy about love and definition of courage. So here there is question: how deep or how does Mandela define courage? One. Second, what do you know about Mandela's philosophy of love and hate. PH. Write a few lines on the life of M.A. Gandhi. Regarding love and hate. Thank you.